The sky's the limit still for you at this point. But what kind of goals are on the bucket list, as of 2026?
Your goal is obviously to get to that brass ring, right? Like for so long, that's the only thing that I was working towards. That was what I was grinding towards. And not saying that that's not a goal for me now. I would be lying if I said that it wasn't. But I think at this point, I want to.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View podcast. Today's episode, we are welcoming someone that's been on the indie scene for a hot minute. She's made waves in promotions like Shine, Shimmer, Queens of Combat. She's got an attitude, she's got the experience, and she might be, her words not mine, kind of bitchy, kind of awesome. We've got Rocky Radley in the house. Rocky, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
I'm so good. I know you are a first timer to the podcast world. Is that right?
Yeah. If you look at my social media, you could tell I'm a little to myself. I'm not really, not very much out there.
I love it. Well, hopefully people who don't know who Rocky Radley is yet are about to get exposed to the awesomeness that is you. There's no better place to start at than the beginning, obviously. Why pro wrestling? Were you a lifelong fan? Is it something you fell into?
Yeah, so growing up, I just have one brother, and I have a huge family. Both my parents are from Jamaica, so we've got, those Caribbean families. There's a ton of kids around. So my cousins and I used to watch wrestling growing up, and then, my brother and I, we would have matches on our trampoline in the backyard with, the neighbor girls. And once, everyone hit that age, I want to say, it was, 2005-ish, everyone's like, oh, wrestling's fake. Wrestling's not cool anymore. Whatever. I just kept watching it, and I grew up an athlete. I was a competitive cheerleader, dancer. I was always very athletic, and I was in college, and I was like, I don't want to do any of these stupid jobs or majors. That's not what I want to do. I was like, I always wanted to wrestle, so that's what I did. I was 22 years old, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do my best, and that's kind of how I got into it.
I love it. That's fantastic. Speaking of you getting into it and breaking into the business, you broke in with some coaches. I'll say that. They were no slouches in the wrestling business. That being, Afa, Gangrel. That's not easy training there. What was the toughest thing that you had to learn early on?
So I actually, originally when I started, do you know La Rosa Negra?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Okay, so 'cause I'm from South Florida originally, and when I started, I was looking up wrestling schools, and hers popped up, and it was not far from me in Hollywood, Florida. And so I went there. I met her initially, and she introduced me to Soul Man Alex G. And so that's who I originally started training with. And the toughest part for me, obviously taking your first bump, I feel like is the suckiest part for everybody, because you just don't know what the hell you're doing. I must have banged my head 100 times. And
love it. You learned to tuck that chin pretty quick.
Yeah, you learn really, really quick to suck your chin. But the athleticism part of it, came easier to me just because I was an athlete.
Right.
But it was really learning to make things matter, to make them count, and just the whole structure of what makes a good match, and what it should be, and what your job is, and how to be a character. All of that stuff was the harder stuff for me to learn, because I was very move. I got to make sure this looks good. I got to make sure I do this right. And so Alex G was really great about drilling into me that a move is only as good as how you present it and where you put it and making it matter. So Absolutely. That was the most difficult part for me. But yeah, I have had some amazing trainers, as you said. Alex brought me to Afa, and then from there I went to Gangrel, and he brought the badass out of me, that's for sure. If anybody's ever trained with him, you know that he doesn't mince words. He's not gonna tell you something's good if it's not good.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the exact feedback I've gotten from previous people that worked under him. You talked about the character part of the business kind of coming a little more difficult to you. Your personality comes across as very strong, very confident, maybe even a little edgy. How much of that is you turned up to 11?
I would say 100% of it, because for a very long time, my fiance would tell you, I was just a wrestler. I didn't have, there was nothing that stood out really about me at all, I don't think. And that's actually how I got with Gangrel, is he saw me at a show and he was like, he's like, you've got like this like badass like edginess in you. He's like, I think I could bring more of that out of you. So it's just been as of late where I think I finally like figured out who I was, and that I didn't need like, and no offense to any, like if someone has like a gimmick or a big character, like that just wasn't going to work for me. It never would.
Right.
So I mean, what you see is what you like. That's who I am.
Right.
I mean, I'm a very nice person. Like anybody will tell you, like I'm the nicest person, but I just learned how to turn it like up as much as I possibly could.
I love it. You know, all the old timers and all the veterans these days, you know, they'll tell you the best characters, the ones that work the best, you know, are the real true person. Just turn it up to 100. So you might be onto something there.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've learned working with the promotions that you've been with so far? I mean, you know, looking through the research, Shine, Shimmer, Queens, granted, those are all, you know, all women's platforms, but those are very respected companies. You know, what has it meant to you to kind of be at the forefront of women's wrestling?
I mean, it's just like when I started training, I think there was like me and 2 other girls and it was all dudes. And, you know, thankfully, like when I started, we were out of that, like women are just like the popcorn match, like they're kind of like whatever. But to be able to go to these prolific all women's promotions, and because a lot of the times when you're the only girls match on a card, I mean, you're going to get that reaction because you're like the diamond in the rough. But then when you go and it's all women, all different shapes, sizes, athleticisms, you know, calibers of women, you almost have to work like 100 times as hard because no one's just going to be impressed at what you do just because you're a chick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Like you really have to, like you have to work hard, but you also make such amazing friendships. And I feel like that's the most amazing part of independent wrestling. And I'll tell girls this all the time. Like it's so nice to go to a random show you've never been booked at, and you walk in, you almost know everybody there because you've come across their path, you know, in one way or another.
Right.
So those women's promotions, they taught me a lot about myself and what I need to work on, what I excel at. And I've gotten the opportunity to go to some really good seminars with, you know, like Alundra Blaze, like Gail Kim, like, and get to like listen to these women and learn from them. So it's good stuff. I'm very proud and privileged to have been a part of that.
For sure.
Watching this right now. I see you. If you're enjoying what you're watching, I've got one quick favor to ask, and it only takes a second, costs you nothing, and makes a huge difference. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, maybe drop a comment. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Doesn't seem like much, but for small creators, it's everything. So let's help more people find this channel and keep the content coming. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the podcast will be really grateful. So if you're having fun, you like what you see, make it official, click those buttons, and the Fans View podcast, we'll see you next time.
For sure. And when we talk about promotions like Queens of Combat, obviously you held titles in that company. You've held multiple championships, you know, on the indie scene. Do you see those titles as maybe an end goal or more of just a byproduct of the hard work you've been putting in?
I think it's a combination of both, right? I feel like there's some people that, I don't know how to word it, so does like they put so much into a title, but it's like at the end of the day, the title doesn't make or break you. You know, I mean, I think it is a great thing when a company believes in you and you know feels that you are worthy of kind of being at the forefront of their division. But I've never really gauged success by that. My end goal always is to just go out there and hopefully have the best match on the card, but 100% have the best match that I possibly can for myself and for my opponent. But I mean, definitely it's cool to be able to be in that position where like you're, you know, at the top. You know,
for sure. 100%. You know, looking ahead for you, what are some of your goals right now? Obviously you've already accomplished a lot since you've been in the business, but you know, the sky's the limit still for you at this point. What kind of goals are on the bucket list, you know, as of 2026?
So as of right now, I think everybody, when they start out, their goal is obviously to get to that brass ring, right? Like to get to one of these major TV promotions. And for so long, that's the only thing that I was working towards. That was what I was grinding towards. And not saying that that's not a goal for me now. I would be lying if I said that it wasn't. But I think at this point, I want to enjoy wrestling because I love it so much. I don't want it to be like, oh my God, I have to get to this place. I have to get to this place. I want to enjoy it and have fun and just gain as much experience as I can. I mean, I would love ultimately to be able to go over to Japan. Like that's always been one of my dreams to go over there. And I want wrestling to always be a part of my life, whether that be I gain enough experience over, the course of my career to where am able to be able to train other people, that I have that accolade where I could train other people and help bring up new girls or guys. But right now, I honestly, because I'm getting back into things after taking quite a lengthy break, I don't have any major end goal right now. I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants, and where things take me, they take me, and I'm just going to enjoy every freaking second of it while I can.
Hell yeah, I love that. 1% better every day, right? That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to run by you before you get out of here was AEW. Obviously, you've had an opportunity, to do some stuff with them. What was your experience like, with one of the big 3-letter companies in AEW?
Oh, it was amazing. It was so much fun. I mean, it was definitely great that when I got there, I got to work with one of my friends, Diamante. She obviously came up in the South Florida scene. She was one of my first matches early on in my career. So when I got there that day and I found out that I was wrestling her, I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is great. But it was a great experience. I've been, very fortunate that I've got to be, do something on NXT, be backstage there. I've gotten to be backstage at Raw and SmackDown a handful of times thanks to Pops, Afa, and then AEW. And, they're all so different, but great in their own way. AEW was a little bit different because, I'm seeing people that I've seen over the years, and they're finally at this place, and I'm just so happy and proud, of them to be there. So it was a different experience, but it was an amazing experience.
I love that. That's fantastic. Well, obviously, I have to ask you my 2 favorite questions. I love asking. I ask everyone. The first of which being, this is the Fans View podcast. Obviously, you see the branding. What are you a fan of outside of the wrestling ring?
Outside of wrestling, well, right now I don't have a lot of time for hobbies because I'm working, 2 jobs. I'm back in school, but I enjoy art. I have always been a drawer. I try to teach myself to paint a little bit through the pandemic, but charcoal drawing is something that's always been a passion of mine. I'm drawing portraits, and truthfully, I'm at that point in my life where I just enjoy peace and quiet and a nice easy day where I have nothing to do. Maybe grocery shop, but I can come home and sit in the pool and do nothing. Kind of boring.
I love it. I strive for that myself. So you're speaking my language. Last but not least, and like I said, this is my favorite question. At this stage, not just of your career, obviously you have many more bumps to take, many more matches to notch under the belt, but at this stage of your life, how do you define success?
So to me, success is not, monetary or, accolades and medals and all this kind of stuff. For me, I feel like at this point in my life, success is truly comfortability in a way that, my family and I are fed, our bills are paid, we have the freedom to have, go out and have a day out if we want, but not be overly stressed about every little thing. I've never strived to be rich and famous. That when I was a kid, that was never one of my things that I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. Would it be nice? Absolutely. But I think success is just being comfortable and happy in your life, from A to Z.
I like that. I like that answer a lot. Well, Rocky, this has been so much fun. I want to give you the floor to plug the socials. Where can fans, promoters, all that, where can they get a hold of you?
Okay, so my Instagram is Rocky Radley. I do have plugs, so I've got a show coming up on March 28th, which is next Saturday. I'm going to be wrestling Gianna Gage. It's for a promotion down here I'm in St. Pete, Florida. Oh, sorry, my cat was trying to escape outside. It's in St. Pete. It's called Tap Pro Wrestling. It's at Tap Pro Wrestling on Instagram. Total Aggression Pro. There is a link in there for discount on tickets. And also on April 25th, I'm going to be wrestling at Marquette Mania, which is up in Michigan, UPW. And I'm going to be there. My fiance, Big Con's going to be there. Mick Foley, Powers of Pain, Awesome Kong. It's going to be a pretty stacked card. So yeah, if anybody's around for those shows, we would love to have you out there. But yeah, all my socials are Rocky Radley.
I love it. I love it. Guys, make sure you go show Rocky some love. If you can get out to a show, by all means, please go out that, support her there. If you can, if you're not near her, hey, throw her a follow on socials. That's free, and that takes about a second of your time, and it helps everyone tremendously. When you're done following Rocky, go ahead and follow the show here. You know all the things, subscribe, like. I don't have to tell you all that. It's 2026, guys. But make sure you go show Rocky some love and tell her you enjoyed her making her podcast debut here on The Fans View.
Yes.
And guys, most importantly, don't forget at the end of the day to call your moms.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.